Hey there, good day, welcome to Solvebeta, and this is my summer coaching series. We're going to be looking at approximation, and this is for SS2. Take note that the way this summer coaching has been designed, I'm going to make a video, post it. You get to watch at your own time, at your own pace, flexibly, you learn. Then, if you have any question, when it's time for the one-on-one session, which you've set, which you've already agreed to, without that session, you ask me a question from what I've taught or from what is related to what I've taught, and I explain them. Now, approximations. What is the concept of approximation? Approximation is it deals with numbers, obviously, and in approximation we give estimated values or rough values to um, numbers. Because at times when we're dealing with data, there's this uncertainty, or there's this. Let me give you an example. If you must have listened in the news and you hear something like this, about 20 people were shot dead at Abuja yesterday. Over 20 talks about not the actual figure but an estimated word figure. An estimated word figure. About 20. Did you get that? About 20. The same thing, if you are going to the market, let's say you went to the market last week and you got something for 20,000 naira, and because it's normal here in Nigeria, there's inflation. 2 months from now, you want to get that same thing. There's a possibility that price, the price of that thing you got, would have what increased. So going to the market, you go with more than that amount. You go with more than that amount to the market to buy that same thing. So the addition to it, you are taking an estimate. Oh, let's say I bought it 20,000 in January. In so time, it would be, you give an estimated value. You give an estimated what value. Are you following me? You see, I'm using the word approximation and estimation. They are still talking about the same word concept. They are talking about one and the same word concept. Now, also, there are certain figures that when we want to use them, we give an approximate value. We give an approximate value because of how the figures are. Instead of me saying I have this in my bank account, let's say I have this in my bank account. 1, 2, 3. Okay, instead of me saying I have this in my bank account, 1 million. It can be difficult for me to memorize this value. 1,234,500. So of me saying this, I can approximate this to the nearest hundred of thousand or whatever. I can say I have what 1.2 million. Now this is not the exact value in my account, isn't it? But I've given you an approximate value or an estimated value of what I have in my account. Now this is obviously less than this, but with this you get the picture of what I have. So we use approximation to give a rough estimate. It's not the actual word estimate, just something close or something that can represent this. I believe that's clear. Now you can be asked to approximate figures to the nearest hundred, just like the figure I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. Now to approximate this value to the nearest hundred, to do this, I must know the place value of each of the digits in this whole number. I must know the place value of each of the digits in this whole number. What is the place value of this? This is unit, this is tens, this is what? 100. So I must know this value, 100 here, then 1,000, and so on and so forth. Then don't forget In approximation, there are certain numbers we round up and there are certain numbers we round what? Down. Very important. We round the number 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We round them down, meaning we add 0 to the previous number plus 0. While number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we round what? We round them up, meaning we add what? 1. We round up 5 and above, number 5 and above. We round down number 4 and below. We round up 5 and above. We round down 4 and below. What does this mean? This is what it means to round up and round down. This is what it means. If we have to round off, not up and down, round off. Round off. This is also the same word used for approximation. Approximate. Round off. Approximate to the nearest 100. If you want to round this figure to the nearest 100. What is the number that the place value is 100? Yeah, it's 5. Unit tens 100 is 5, right? So to round this off to the nearest 100, unit tens 100. Are you seeing it? So to approximate to the nearest 100, this is 100. This value 5 is 100. Now there are figures after this 5, and there are figures before this what? 5. So to approximate this one to the nearest 100, you go to the first figure after this 5, which is this. This is the place value 100. The value of this one is what? 100. The place value is what? 100. 500. So you go to the number after it, which is what? 0. Are we rounding up or rounding down 0? No, we are rounding down 0. Because we are rounding down 0, 0 itself will be sacrificed, become what? 0. And the number after 0 will be what? 0. Now, because you are rounding down, 0 has been sacrificed. It will add nothing plus 0. It will add nothing to the number before it. It will add nothing to this 5. So 5 we will say remain 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is still 1,234, 1 million rather, 234,500. You're still going to remain what? This nearest 100. Now this is the symbol for approximation. Approximately this. Approximately this, or you can write it this way. That's the symbol for approximation. Nearest 100. Now nearest 1,000. Nearest 1,000. Nearest 1,000. Take note, if I approximate a whole number to the nearest 100, after the value, after this value here, we have 0 what? 0. Very, very important. After this number here, that the place value is 100, the numbers after it will be 0, 0. Now nearest 1,000, let's go to this 1,000. See the same number, 234. What am I calling it? 1,000? Sorry, 1,234,000. Please, sorry for that. 1,234,500. 1,234,500. So now, which number is the place value 1,000? We want to approximate this to the nearest 1,000. We first identify the number that the place value is 1,000. Unit tens 100,000. This 1,000, right? 1,000 here is 4. So this value, the place value here is what? 1,000. So there are numbers after it, right? And there are numbers before it. You go to the first number after it, which is what? 5. Are we rounding up 5 or we're rounding down 5? 5 is to be rounded up, meaning that, what does it mean that 5 rounds up? 5 becomes 0 and the numbers after it. 5 becomes 0 and the numbers after it becomes the sacrificial lamb, becomes 0 and the number after it will be 0. Then add 1 to this 4 because it's rounded up. Add 1 to this 4 becomes what? 5. Then this one, since they are not added into, they will just be left what? Alone. So it means that this value to the nearest 1,000 is 1,235,000. Can you see that? 1,235,000. Now what if we are told to approximate this to the nearest million? Nearest million. Nearest million. To the nearest million. To the nearest million. How do you do this? Very simple. Look for the number that the place value is million here. It's 1. It is what? 1. Unit, tens, 100. I believe you know that is 1. So what do we use? We have numbers after this and we have no number before it. So the first number after it is what? 2. It becomes the sacrificial lamb. 2 will be rounded down because it's less than 5. It will be rounded down to what? 0. And makes every other numbers after it to be 0, even though they are not zeros. 2 becomes 0, then it contaminates this one, they become what? 0. Then because you are rounding it down, it gives nothing to this one. It becomes a sacrifice that is worthless. It gives nothing to this one, so it becomes 1. So this to the nearest million will be 1 million. 1 what? Million. So this is approximately 1 million. Always put the symbol for approximation to show that you approximated. Let me put that here. To show that you what? Approximated. To show that you what? Approximated. Because approximation is a rough estimate. It's a rough what? Estimate. It's not the actual estimate. It's not the actual value. That's what. It's not the actual value. It's just an estimated amount, a rough value. So now let's go to decimals. This is where there might be issues. You can write this down. You can pause and write this down. And let's go to decimals. This is where there can be issue. So this class will be divided mostly, I think it will be divided into at most 3 or 2. You can see I'll try to compress it into this topic into 2 classes. But if I don't, I believe in depth over width. Depth over width. This well will hold much more water more than this well. If I have a well like this, it will hold much more water more than this well. This one is wider, but this one is deeper. So I want you to understand, even if I'm going to take 3 topics throughout this series, I want you to understand them perfectly. So let's go to decimals. I've noticed that students don't know the place values of numbers after the decimal point, and I will stay here very well. I will explain this. Please take note. This is units. This is what? Tens. Unit and what? Tens. Unit and what? Tens. Then after the decimal point, after unit, you have tenth. TH. Tenth means divided by 10. Tenth divided by what? 10. TH here means divided by what? 10. Tenth. The word tithe is a tenth. So if it's a tenth, it means that you are dividing by what? 10. If it's 10, you're not dividing by 10. But if it's a 10, TH, tenth, you are dividing by what? 10. So after 10, you have 100. Just the same way after tens, you have what? 100. But this one, you have hundredths. There's a TH. Hundredths. There's a TH to the 100. Hundredths. Thousandths. 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 The RTH. 10,000ths. 100,000ths. You must add TH to the place value of these numbers after the decimal point. TH means that they are divided by those, divided by 1,000, divided by 100, and so on and so forth. So if you ask to approximate to the nearest, look at this. You are asked to approximate to the nearest hundredths. Round off, the same word, round off to the nearest hundredths. Round up to the nearest hundredths. Now, how do you round this up to the nearest hundredths? You do this. Which number is the place value hundredths? Don't forget, I've already written it. This is unit, tenth. Let me put it TH. Let me put it let me write it as TTH. Tenth. This one is hundredths. HTH, hundredths. This is just to represent it. Hundredths. So the place value of this 4 here is what? Hundredths. The place value of 4 there is what? 100. Meaning that we use the next value after it. we use the next value after it. What's the next value after it? 5. We use 5. The same way we use that, we use what? 5. So do we round 5 up or down? We round 5 up. We round up 5. So if we round up 5, 5 itself becomes 0, the sacrificial lamb, and it makes all these other ones 0. It makes this one after it be 0. Then 5 will give 1 to this 4. If 5 gives 1 to this 4, because we are rounding up, it will give 1. Because 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, when we round them up, they give 1 to the number before. So it will give 1 to this, it becomes what? 5. 1 plus this 4 is what? 5. So you have 3 points, then this, I call the number backwards. So one thing you must take note is that this is approximately equals to this. And you must also take note of this. We can write this as 12.35. 12.315. These zeros after this 5, they are insignificant. They can be done away with, they can be overlooked. They are insignificant. The zeros after this 5 are insignificant. Why are they insignificant? Because of these decimal points. If I have 1.0, this 0 is significant, same thing as what? 1. If I have 1.20, it's same thing as 1.2. As long as there's no any other non-zero digit, when I mean non-zero digit, there's no any other number that is not 0. As long as the last number or all the numbers after this 5 are 0, they are insignificant. So if you have non-zero digits, then you have 0 digits, no matter the amount. The 0 digits are after, or are, if you are coming this way, they are before a non-zero digit. All these 0 digits, they are what? Insignificant. Now these zeros here, they are insignificant, but these zeros here are now significant because this one has made the 0 to be significant. I can call this 1, but I can never call this 1 because this is greater than 1. This is equal to 1. But look at this. If I have this 1.100, I can write this as 1.1. This 0 is insignificant. Please take note of that. Very, very important. That's why it's best to leave your answer this way. 12.315. Nearest 100. Nearest 100. Now, what of nearest tenth? Nearest tenth. Now, we look for the number that the place value is tenth. Is this? I call it TTH. I use TTH to represent what tenth. It's what 3 here, right? So this number, the place value is what tenth. So let me write this number 12.34515. Nearest tenth, 3. 3, the place value is tenth. So I use this 4. I use the number after it, 4. So we 4 itself becomes 0, and these other numbers after 4 become what? 0. Then 4, are we rounding up or rounding down 4? We're rounding down 4. So we round down 4. 4 becomes 0, and it adds nothing to this 3. So approximately this. And now if we consider this to be significant, you have 12.3. That's the nearest tenth. Then finally, what if you ask to approximate to the nearest whole number? Nearest whole number, please. I think I can erase this. Nearest whole number. Now, what is a whole number? Any decimal number you see is made up of a whole number and the decimal fraction part. There are two parts here. The part before the decimal point, which is the whole number. These 2 digits makes the whole number. Then the part after the decimal point, which is the decimal what fraction, the fractional part. So nearest whole number, it will mean that we are to approximate such that we will not have decimal place, we will not have decimal, we will not have these numbers, we will not have the fractional part, we just have only a whole number. So approximate this to the nearest whole number. Nearest whole number. Nearest whole number. What are we going to do? We'll do this. Approximately equals to this. This is the whole number. The next digit after the whole number. Please take note that both of these digits, even if they are 5, they make up the whole number, the whole number. So 12 is the whole number. To approximate to the nearest whole number, we'll go to the next digit after 12, which is what? 5. Which is the number in the 10th position, 3. Number in the 10th position, 3. The number after the decimal point. So are we rounding it up or down? We are rounding this 3 down. 3 will be 0. Don't forget these are numbers you round down. 3 will be 0. The rest will be 0, 0. You can just, you might not even write the 0. So because 3 is rounded down, it does not add anything to these 2. Or you add zeros to these 2. Add 0 means add nothing. So you have 12. So this is approximately equals to what? 12. This is what? 12. This is significant 12. That's what? 12. So you can see that. You can see that's how to approximate to the nearest whole number 10 and the likes. So that is very, very simple. It's very, very what? Simple. It's very, very simple. Very, very, very what? Simple. Okay. I think I have time because I want to make the videos 30 minutes or less. So it means that I have time. I can still show you how to approximate to the nearest to decimal places. Because decimals causes a lot of issues for students. Decimal places. Decimal what? Places. Now, to do this, you must understand what we mean by decimal places. Let's say we have 28.9178. Let's make it 228.9178. 228.9178. Now, decimal place is talking about the position of the numbers after the decimal point. One decimal place, this is the number in the first decimal place. This number is in the first decimal place. Or I can say it this way. This number is placed first after the decimal point. This number is placed second after the decimal point. This number is placed third. This number is placed what? Fourth. This number is placed first. This number is placed second. This number is placed third. This number is placed what? Fourth. So if we ask to approximate this now to one decimal place, it will be approximately equals to this. One decimal place will mean that after you have approximated this number, there will only be one number after the decimal point. There will only be one number after this decimal point. After you have approximated, after you've rounded off. So now, to approximate to one decimal place, this number in the first decimal place, you go to the number after the number in the first decimal place, which is what? 1. So this is the decider. This one here. Do we round up or round down 1? We round down 1, just like we've learned. So 1 itself will be what? 0. Now, since 1 itself is 0, these other numbers after 1 will be 0, 0, right? So can 1 give anything to this 9? No, it's rounded down. So since you cannot give anything, you have what? 9. Then point, then 8 and 2. I'm calling that from left to right. So the same thing, the 0 is here, they are insignificant. You have 28.9. So you see that 28.9 here, we've approximated to one decimal place. We just have only one number after the decimal point. That's only by one decimal place, 1 dp. Can you see that? So let's take the final example. 3 decimal places. The approximately equals to this. Let's go to number in the third decimal place, 7, right? Number in the third decimal place is what? 7. Do we round up or round down 7? We round down what? 7? No, that's not what we're going to do. So 7 is the number in the third decimal place. We'll go to the next number after it. You must take note of that. Please don't forget. You go to the next number after 7, which is what? 8. Now we're rounding up 8 or rounding down 8. This number is in the third decimal place. Because we want to round down to 3 decimal, we want to have 3 numbers after the decimal point as our final answer. We'll go to this number after it, which is 8. Are we rounding up or rounding down 8? 8 is rounding up. So 8 itself will be what? 0. Now since 8 is 0, we're rounding it up. It will add 1 to this 7 becomes what? 8. Then these other ones remain the same. 19.822. Sorry, my writing is a little bit small here. So this now will be 2. Oh, 228. Sorry, this is 228. I omitted the 2. 228. I omitted the 2. 228.9. So this will be 228.918. This 0 being insignificant. The 0 there is insignificant. So that is that. That is that. So you can watch again and get the explanation. Then do this. Do this. I'm going to check you. I'm going to grade you when I assess you, when we have our one-on-one class, one-on-one session. So do this. Do this. Let me get from my book. Let me get questions from my book so I don't get questions from my brain. Let me rest my brain. Let me get from my book. Okay. So the next class we're going to still talk about approximation, but we'll be looking at significant figures. Significant figures. Round of significant figures. Round of 274892400 to the nearest number 1 billion, number 2 million. So that's the first to do. The second one, round off the number, round off this number, 197.8621, two decimal places, one decimal place, nearest 10, no, nearest 100, nearest whole number, I can still ask nearest whole number, nearest thousands, the statement is thousand, nearest thousands. So I believe this is sufficient. Make sure you practice with this, and if you have your textbook, you can go further in your study. You can study more. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget the next topic, significant figure, approximating significant figures. Thank you very much.